Hi, my name is Austin Trapp, and along with Griffin Lewis, Kenny Jansen, and Tanner Thomas, we'll be talking about wildfires in the United States. This is our table of contents, and we will be talking about the context to our problem, solution 1, solution 2, and the better solution. Since the beginning of human history, wildfires have been a large problem for ancient or now modern societies. However, as of the past few years, research has shown steady increases in the frequency of wildfires in the United States. This is a bad sign for American society, as wildfires cause several different problems, including dry conditions, drought, disruption of land and water supply, deterioration of air quality, and loss of property, crops, resources, animals, and even people, and these are just to name a few. Furthermore, we have already seen some of these problems come into play with some of the major California wildfires in the past couple of years. Since 2017, it has been recorded that each year, around 7,500 to 8,500 wildfires take place just in California, and these numbers have continued to slowly rise, with the year 2020 having the most wildfires ever recorded in a year in California. In addition, these wildfires are increasing in size, as research shows that the average fire size in 2010 was 48 acres, while the average wildfire size between 1960 and 2010 was only 37 acres. This is just one example of how a state in the U.S. has witnessed the growing problem of wildfires in the past years. So, how can we slow and prevent wildfires from happening more frequently and dangerously in our world today? Our group has come together with some solutions that could possibly be an answer to this important question. Wildfires are occurring more frequently and becoming more dangerous than ever. They have major effects on not just the environment, but also the economy. And as a society, we need to come together to put plans and solutions into effect in order to slow and prevent wildfires for the future. Because if we fail to do this, there will be lasting consequences on the environment and civilization.
Solution 1. We use tactics that are less costly and help reduce damage, not only to the environment, but also less costly for restoration. As Alan Ager stated, one potential solution is to change current fire suppression tactics to intentionally increase the area burned under conditions when risks are acceptable to managers, and fires can be used to achieve long-term restoration goals in fire-adapted forests. If we do these type of tactics, it will allow us to not spend as much money on restoration, which is a big problem. If we find more affordable and effective suppression tactics, we can do this by studying fires and how they spread quickly. Researchers can take time studying which tactics work the best at controlling fires and which have the least amount of damage. In 2018, around $400 million were spent on wildfire suppression. That is a lot of money. If we find new tactics to suppress the fires, they can not only be cheaper but also more effective than the current ones we use. Ways we can find new tactics is from learning from the ones we have and building off of those. If we learn take what we know, take what works from the current tactics and build off of that, we'll have more efficient tactics. One current suppression tactic that is used today is pouring water over the burned area. This is a very expensive tactic, being that we have to pay for hundreds of gallons of water, and it does not always work, being that water and fire, usually it will burn, but not always. The one limitation with this solution is that it's hard to find a tactic that is both cheap and effective. It's either cheap and expensive, or cheap and not effective, or effective and expensive.
In our next solution, our group noticed that extinguishing methods of wildfires will be benefited as a whole by technology. Technology for wildfire suppression is still fairly new to homeland security in the United States, but is becoming reimagined better than ever. As time goes on, technology and methods will be improved that can be focused towards fighting fires. Now, with new technology implemented and new methods, firefighters and grounds crew would not be needed as much. Ultimately, this will lead to more and more lives being kept away from the hazard of the fire, meaning that survival rates will be increased. With more of these new advanced procedures, the United States can handle wildfires more efficiently and sustainably by not using as much energy to extinguish them. These are just a few of the techniques and new engineering feats that could be used to extinguish a raging wildfire. National Geographic provided an infographic that went into greater depth on possible procedures that could be used. Unmanned aerial vehicles, commonly known as drones, have become a valuable tool in fighting wildfires. Drones provide surveillance in unreachable areas by helicopter or plane and do not require a firefighter to be put in danger. Humans have also designed robots that could potentially withstand temperatures far beyond human capabilities that could function just as another firefighter would. Satellite imaging provides a broader perspective to allow analysts to understand how much ground a wildfire has already covered and where it could be headed next. Sensors and sensory systems could alert firefighters before a wildfire could outburst, allowing citizens to evacuate ahead of time. Like I said earlier, using the tool of satellites provided by other space programs, wildfires can be tracked more efficiently and need to be overemphasized. Thermal imaging on the ground and in satellites has already proved its advantages and enables a fire to be tracked more precisely. It's fair to say that with the use of new technology, older suppression methods could be boosted with the help of new. There are a few limitations to this solution. Newer technology is expensive and it isn't available to some local governments. That being said, it isn't as widespread yet, but it is soon to come in the future.
The best solution. For the best solution, we chose Solution 2 because it's more sustainable and effective over the long-term run. The Solution 2 is using more effective methods and better technology that will advance over time in the future. However, Solution 1 is immediately and will cost more in the long run because we have to keep up with the methods during that time. As time goes on, technology and methods will be more effective because the technology will improve with other uses, like through satellite imaging. That'll become more effective, and we can make upgrades to the satellites. Solution 1 is easy to put in place now, but it will cost more to maintain in the long run because we have to maintain the uses, and that costs a lot of money over the long-term run. Solution 2 is more substantial, effective in the long run, and is the best option. There's it.